Hello everyone, I want to explore another option for you with your independent reading, and that is the readworks.org student library. You'll see something like this when you log in. It'll say Mr. House's 7th grade class instead, and at the top of the page you'll see library. You'll want to click either there or down here where it says let's go, and that will take you to the student library. And once you click on library, this will pop up, the library settings, the first time that you enter here. It's going to ask you what topics interest you. Now there are thousands of passages and poems and articles to choose from, but if you click on the topics that interest you, it'll help narrow those down. It'll do some of that automatically. So I want you to take a look in the background while I'm selecting these things, so back here. So I'm going to click on something else and just keep watching that. So let me click how things work on Earth and in space. So you'll notice that background changed. It's already starting to give me suggestions of places to start, of independent reads. That looks pretty good. If I click the forward arrow, I can choose a library theme. So I'll choose this yellow one here. I like the calculator. No, just kidding. Let's do purple. And then I'll back up. Also, you'll notice this a lot in ReadWorks, this little audio icon. If I click on that, those icons will pop up everywhere. And if I click on the additional icons,
How people live around the world.
Wow, that is a terrible, terrible robot voice. So it's an option. It's not an option you should use when you're selecting your interests. Small things like that you can just read yourself, but it will come up later. Once I close out of that, now I have plenty of things to choose from tailored to my interests. So let me go through here and find something. And the goal of the reading library is just to find something enjoyable to read. So I'll click on Dragon Fruit and notice this one is extremely, extremely short. They're not all that short. Let's try to find something a little bit longer. Okay, and as I sit here on my MacBook, this one looks interesting to me. So there are some options here of enhancements to your reading experience. This will change the size of the text, and it will change it all the way down, the whole text. This will number your paragraphs, so easy to find where things are if you get off track. And then this neat little feature attaches this line to your cursor and dims everything else. Seems a bit weird, but here's where this really comes in handy. If I want to read this and I want to block everything else out, make it a little bit easier for me to read, maybe sometimes you get distracted by the amount of text on the screen, then I can work my way down using this and reading this way. If I come back up here and click it again, it will go away. Let's try the audio.
Heavy metal. Trash technology is turning into a high-tech hazard. It's your birthday, and you just opened your biggest gift, a sleek silver laptop. You can't wait to instant message your friends with the news, but first you have...
Okay, enough of that robot voice. I believe everything in readworks.org has an audio option, but some of them are text-to-speech. Others, however, include people reading to you. Let's try to find one of those. This one is a poem, so probably a human reading.
The Hungry Girl by ReadWorks.
There we go.
I'm hungry, said the little girl to her dearest dad.
So there you go. There's an actual human being reading to you, which is great in this case. This is a poem, so you want to have emotion in there. You want to change the voice up, use different tones. It's good to have somebody reading this one to you. So that is another option to help you read these texts. Let me go back into the student library here. And there's one final thing I want to point out to you in the library. Now, when you're browsing the library, when you're clicking on things, the idea here is this is your independent reading time. You are not taking quizzes, you're not doing assessments. If I assign something to you through readworks.org, yes, you'll have a quiz attached to that. But let's say I want to read about the dragon fruit, so I go into this one, I go to the bottom once I've read everything. I do want you to add a note about what you read, what you liked about it, maybe why you chose it. And that's how I'll respond to this particular passage. I wanted to know more about the dragon fruit because I've eaten dragon fruit several times, and it is a fruit that I really enjoy, but I don't really know too much about it. Now, this is short. It's not going to give me too much to read from it, and that's okay. You want some variety in what you're reading. Short passages, long passages. So when you respond to the passages that you're reading, you'll notice up here it says reading log on the main page. Anything that you read, it's going to add. It's also going to include your notes here. So that note that I just wrote would pop up here. If you have favorite passages or favorite articles, you can note that by clicking on this little bookmark. You'll see that pop up when you open articles. Those will pop up here, the amount of passages that you read and the amount of words that you read will be added up. So if you've read 50 articles, all of the words across all of those articles will be added up, and you'll be able to keep track of those things that way. So if you're looking for something to read independently, this is a great resource.